Acharya, I had a question. I had read recently there is a growing number of, I guess, Americans. It was an American survey where people were finding they were spiritual but not religious. They didn't like perhaps God per se, but they felt there was something more. And I've personally found this in many people who come here and people who I've met and talk with, that they're like, well, I don't really like anything religious. I don't like God. I don't particularly like Jesus because of the way I was raised. But I feel like there's something more, and their spirituality is very big. And I try hard to, I don't know, bring them something with meaning or some form. I just wonder if you had any advice in terms of getting people started in this kind of path. I guess read Bhagavad Gita would be the first thing.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so many different entry points for so many different people. But it's interesting, yes, this has become one of the mantras of our age. I'm spiritual but not religious. Interestingly, this phenomenon is both good and bad. And let me explain what I mean by that. It is good if it is truly thoughtfully stated. In other words, if the person truly means, oh yes, I understand the difference between sectarian, denominational, religious institutions versus spirituality, meaning having my own personal mystical experience of the divine. If that's what they mean, that's a good thing. That's precisely what Krishna is saying by this last verse. Yes, abandon all religious institutions and simply surrender. That's the mystical experience. However, sadly, a lot of people, when they say this, don't really quite know what they mean, and will often use this as an excuse to then not really be very deeply spiritual. This is what I call the fluffy crowd. Fluffy spirituality, spirituality light, you know, where they want to use this as an excuse to then not make commitment, not then follow a serious path, not then have some sort of discipline, some sort of practice that they have to practice in order to clarify their consciousness. This is yoga. Yoga is clarification of consciousness. But what does this mean? It means you have to work at it. It means you have to, yes, have self-discipline. You have to have awareness. You have to have focus. You have to have all of these important things. When people say this new age mantra, oh, I'm spiritual but not religious, if what they mean is they don't want to make any commitment to anything, and they just want spirituality to be kind of this far-off concept that when they feel like it, they can just kind of play with it, but then retreat as soon as it's slightly uncomfortable for them, then that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, so again, that's the distinction. As far as individuals who might mistakenly, let's say, even come to an event like this or other events that happen here and think that somehow it's connected to some sort of negative institutional sort of religion or something that they had bad experiences with in the past, what I would suggest is just very gently explaining to them the difference, explaining to them that no. Truth is not a church that you join. There's no membership card. There's no membership card. What is required for truth is to surrender to truth. And that you can do anywhere, anytime. And more, surrender itself even is a state that you cultivate. See, it's not like becoming a born-again Christian. It's not even that what Krishna is saying is not that, oh, at some certain point you just kind of lift your hands up in the sky and say, oh, God, I surrender to you, and all right, now I just go on with life. No, it's not magic. Even surrender is something that you cultivate to the point where you are surrendered eventually every moment of your life, every moment that you're awake, every moment that you're even sleeping, you are surrendered to the divine. So what we are doing is not religion in the sectarian sense. What we are doing is truly the deepest philosophy, and something that is aimed at transforming us within. So that's the difference. And this is also just one last thing. You can't help everyone. Always keep that in mind, because you're a teacher. You can't help everyone. There will be some people who you can explain it so nicely, you can explain it the way I just explained, still they won't get it. That's all right. That's free will. So try to help as many people as you can, but you can't help everyone.